We did it again. We did it again. Okay. I don't even know what to say at this point. Genuinely, I have no clue what to say. Um, Other than thanks Chelsea for ruining the start of my holiday, I suppose. Um, so, uh, let me get my checks and stuff done. Yeah, I need that done. I need my chat out. As you can probably tell, by listening to how I sound, I'm incredibly ill. This result has not helped matters, but it's part of the reason why I missed the first 60 minutes of this game because I went out to get my haircut and then I came back and I felt so dreadful. I was like, ugh, and yeah, so I missed the first 60 minutes, but to be quite honest, I'm kind of glad I did, considering what I've seen on Twitter and certain things that I've kind of been told about the first half and things like that. Obviously, because I haven't seen the whole match, I'm not going to pretend like I have. So I've only got a few points for this video that I can kind of take away. And if there's anything else that I think that you guys in chat want to kind of add to the 7 points, then we can do that as a group effort. Let me hit the intro, and then yeah, we'll get straight into this.
Lads, lasses, and the rest of the masses, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mono from Mono CFC, and welcome to Feeling Blue.
Okay, welcome to Feeling Blue. As I said, we're going to do the same kind of thing that we usually do, where we go from left to right, and then crown our true blue at the end. It's really unfortunate because I said obviously I missed the majority of this game, but I kind of have to do. I kind of had to do a review or a GBU for this. A GBU. I've gone back into the past. I had to do a I had to do a Feeling Blue for this because this is the last time you guys will be hearing from me until the 27th, because obviously I'm going away. As I said, I've got videos planned, already ready set up to be released on the match days or just before. I think I'm going to release them the day before each game, whilst I am away. So don't worry about that. But yeah, we'll get into the first few points here, because I think, as I said, from a person that didn't watch the entirety of the game, the first thing I want to talk about, I think, is Thiago Silva playing. Again, I want your opinions on this, because from what I've seen, I think Thiago was pretty good. Obviously, he gets a goal, gets the first goal, which is always going to get you good marks. But yeah, from what I've been seeing and what I've been reading, I think Thiago Silva had a really good game, and it's kind of funny considering how in the end our defense kind of let us down, because I feel like Silva was one of the players in the team that didn't let us down, and he was part of the defense, which is quite funny. So I don't have any medium points, and I said this stream's probably going to be quite short because I can't really talk in depth about things. Just because I didn't watch the majority of the game. I'm going to go into the bad, and we're going to go straight to another defender, and it's for Badiashile, because what has happened to this guy? Honestly, under Lampard, this guy looked like one of the best centre-backs in the league. I don't know if it's just a Poch thing, I don't know if this is him returning from injury and not being fully fit thing, or whatever, but ever since he's been playing this season, he has been utterly woeful in every single game I've watched him. And again, it's like it's like one of those things where he comes on off the bench, right, and then just immediately loses his header, and that's how we concede. And I don't get it. He's 6'4", and he was one of the best aerial centre backs in the league last year, and now he's just utterly dog shit. And I'm not really sure what's happened to him, if I'm being honest. And again, as I said, maybe that's down to coaching. Maybe that's if I'm being honest, I think it is. But Maybe that's down to Pochettino, maybe it's down to his staff that are working with the players, I'm not sure. But yeah. I'm going to be kind of flip-flop, because I said I've got 5 points, and then we can kind of deduce as a collective, like, we can deduce as a collective, like, what we want to put in for the final two. Obviously, going in the good box is going to be Madueke, which is weird, because I feel like this is a weird one, because I don't, from what I've seen and what I've read, I don't think he had particularly a great overall game. Obviously, he gets our second goal, which is great. It's a fantastic goal, by the way. Did get to watch in time to see that, which is nice. But I feel like I saw someone describe it this way, and I feel the same way about Conor Gallagher. Is that I feel like Madueke is so much better when he comes off of the bench, because he's so much better against tired legs, and when he starts games, he doesn't really like have that advantage in a way. But from what I've seen, a lot of things that I've seen is that at least he was actually like going for it, and he was actually trying to score, whereas apparently the rest of our team just really wasn't giving him any help. So I'm obviously going to put him in the good box. He gets our second goal. He should have been getting the winning goal if he weren't let down by the rest of our team. So yeah, he's going to go in there. The next player I'm going to be putting into bad is a player which last time I put this guy into bad, I said I didn't think he would ever get back in here, and yeah, he's got back in here. It's Petrovic. What's happened to this guy too? What has happened to this guy? In the last few games, he has just been having howler after howler, and I know it's a silly thing to say, like, goalkeepers shouldn't be getting beaten at their near post, but this is atrocious, honestly. And it's the second time in a few games where he has just completely just let something go through him, and it's really upsetting, because he was, out of our two goalkeepers, the one which we were saying was the better shot stopper, right? Yeah, I do think it is probably a confidence drop, but which is weird, considering we just came off the back of that really good game against United, and you'd feel like all the players would be confident. That kind of leads me into another point, is that I think that all of our momentum from that United game is completely taken away by the starting lineup, which I am going to be putting Pochettino in here, just because, again, if I was there when the lineups were announced, I would have been going batshit crazy after what I've just seen. Someone explain this to me. He puts Conor Gallagher into left wing. He plays Disasi at right back for some reason. He puts Cole Palmer into the central role for Madueke to come in on the right wing, which is something I suggested we could do. But it kind of is counterintuitive to do that when you take away one of your wingers, because then the width that you would get from Madueke isn't there anyway. And the fact that we don't have Malo Gusto, who's been arguably our second best player all season, on the pitch is quite frankly fucking stupid. We just have no defensive structure, as I've been saying, and we concede our late equaliser because of no defensive structure, and that's just our incompetence to ever defend a ball into the box. And I said this in my preview. I said you can't be giving away silly fouls and free kicks to a team like Sheffield, because the one thing that they do present danger from is those opportunities, and it's the exact reason why I put Ollie McBurney in my team in the preview, is because I knew that what Sheffield's game plan in this match was going to be was to just try and put it into the air, because we're terrible at defending set pieces and we're terrible at defending balls into the box. And I think we can all collectively agree now that after we have gotten, like, I think it's 0.53, I believe, XG versus a team that has conceded 80 plus goals in the league, I feel like we can kind of all collectively agree now that Pochettino is not the man to lead us forward. I think it's silly to sack him now. I think that it's too late. We should have done it way earlier. And I'm glad that I'm being proven right, because this guy is clearly not good enough to coach this team, and especially considering the amount of talent that this team has, for us to be floundering in mid-table, unable to beat a team that has... The thing which bugs me about this, right, Sheffield have been terrible all season. This isn't just a thing where they're into bad form or whatever. This is a team that has been utterly woeful all season, and the thing which bugs me the most This is a team that has conceded 5 goals to Burnley. They conceded 5 to fucking Burnley, and we can't even keep a clean sheet against them. We can't put more than 2 goals past them. We struggle all game apparently to create opportunities, and obviously we get almost half of the shots off that they get. It's just ridiculous, and I'm sick of trying to justify my opinion, and the reason why I keep saying like I just want him gone is because this is the same thing that happens all the time, is that he gets these fluke wins. And I said this, but I can't remember what game it was that I said this. I think it might have been the Wolves game. I can't remember. It was some game back in the time where I mentioned this. Is that what Pochettino does? Is he survives. Is that he has a run of absolutely terrible games, has one game that kind of puts everyone back on his good side, or puts him on everyone's good side again, and then just drops another stinker. And that's what this was that we beat United, obviously, and he gets bailed out by individual brilliance, as he has been all season, with Cole Palmer coming up with a hat-trick and winning us that game. And then we go into this game, in a game which we should absolutely be winning very comfortably, and make it look like the hardest game in the league. And it's just, man, I said I can't come up with any excuses for it anymore. It's just annoying. And I mean, when we've now drawn to the bottom team and the second bottom team, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. These players are good enough, player by player. These players are good enough to beat Sheffield. And if he can't get them to do that, then that's on him. I can't remember what the stat is. I saw a stat. Saw a stat a second ago. I think we've conceded we've dropped 15 points, I think, in our last 10 games against the bottom 5 teams or something like that. It's just stupid, genuinely. And we saw the quotes. We saw the quotes about Pochettino saying he'll always make his teams to be set up attack minded, and he'll always go for things, and kind of self-admitting the fact that he doesn't care about defending and just wants to score goals. Well, when you go into games like this where you're not scoring the goals, then abandoning all defensive thinking and planning and tactics and everything like that is just completely and utterly stupid. And yeah, we paid for it. Of course we paid for it. Obviously, we've also got this situation with his substitutions. He doesn't make substitutions early enough. He doesn't seem like he can ever change a game once things go awry. I've mentioned this in the past. I feel like he is the worst manager in the league at affecting a game. Obviously the substitutes come really late. He brings on defensive substitutions way too late, and then one of the players that he brings on off the bench makes a defensive error, and we concede from it. And it's one of those things where I think, it's one of the things which I said in my previews. I said, despite the gap in quality between the two sides, we cannot underestimate Sheffield United, because they are a team that will make the game difficult for us, and they will have confidence because they've seen in the past that we've let lesser teams in, and like we did with Burnley. And what Poch does is that he comes into this game, completely rotates the side for some reason, completely underestimates Sheffield United and think that this is going to be a cakewalk, and absolutely pays for it. And the thing is, it's not him that actually pays for it, because the owners back him to no end for no reason, and it's just us fans that are suffering. And it's all the players that are suffering, because the players are good enough to beat this team, and the players obviously care. And I love this group of players. I think they're a really good bunch of players, not only from a personal standpoint, but from an actual professional standpoint as well. And I just feel like if they were given someone to actually guide them in the right way, they would be hitting new heights. We have a player like Cole Palmer, and I think I'm actually going to put Palmer in one of these boxes, because I've seen a lot of people in chat saying that he was quite mid, so I'm going to put him in the medium box. When you have a player the quality of someone like Cole Palmer, who in his first season in the Premier League is getting to the second highest goal scorer and getting 30 plus goal contributions in his first season, right? When you take a player like this, and who arguably is the best right winger in the league, genuinely, and then you force him into the central role for Noni Madueke, which didn't need to be done, and it just completely disrupt the flow of how we win games. It's just I can't excuse it, honestly. It's really frustrating because as I said, we have the quality in the side to be higher than ninth. We should have been, after all the spending that we did, if we had a different manager, a manager that was able to, even just a defensive coach, right? Even someone that could just even if they weren't great at attacking or figuring out how to attack in games, as long as they had any kind of defensive structure to their team, I genuinely believe we'd be top 6 by now. Like, our players are good enough to do that. I don't think they're good enough to challenge for the title or challenge for top 4 because they are inexperienced. But to be as far down as we are, and I've mentioned this again, and it's just frustrating because I keep saying it over and over again, is that every single time that we have an opportunity to close the gap to those teams above us, we just don't do it. It's just really frustrating because I say it every single week. It's that we get the opportunity and it's like, cool, we're in ninth, we have games in hand against the teams above us, we can get back into the league, we have the opportunity to get into the conference league spots, which I think is basically our absolute maximum that we can achieve this season, is the conference league spots. And I'm looking at the table now, and yes, we still do have a game in hand over Newcastle and United, 2 games in hand over West Ham. We've just given them that kind of extra life, because right now we could have been on 46 points, 1 point behind Newcastle, and 2 points behind West Ham, and obviously 3 points behind United. And with our game in hand, if we would have won that game, because of how because United didn't get the victory today, we would have been above United. We would have been in 6th place after our game in hand, if we won that game anyway. And it's just, what's the point on when we have all of these teams that are above us that are doing absolutely horrendously in the league, they have no consistency whatsoever, and are dropping points and giving us every single opportunity to get back into the league. We never take advantage of it because of silly, stupid stuff like randomly deciding to just rotate your entire team and disrupt the flow of the game. You know what, I think that in recent times, obviously we've, apart from the Liverpool game that we lost, we were unbeaten for like 10 games with that Liverpool game in that Liverpool loss wedged in between, right? I think we've been playing very, very well, and we've been getting a bit more consistent in the fact that we are at least not losing games, which admittedly, when you're not winning, it's not great either. But we had that kind of consistency of like, cool, we've got everyone playing in the same position every single week. We kind of know how we play now. Admittedly, our game plan is literally just give it to Cole Palmer, see if something happens, which isn't the greatest, but at least it's been kind of working. And then against the worst team in the league, we decide, you know what, let's give them an opportunity to beat us by not doing that. And obviously we don't actually lose this game. Again, it's one of those things where it's a draw but it feels like a loss. And again, I always say this, but it's not a point gained, it's 2 points dropped. That's how I always feel about these things, especially against the worst team in the league that have conceded 80 plus goals all season, and we apparently can't put more than 2 goals past them in either fixture. When teams like Burnley are putting 5 past them, other teams like Liverpool are putting like 6 past them, and they've conceded I think they conceded like 8 goals to someone at some point as well. It's just ridiculous, honestly. I think that's a good point to raise, is that I see a lot of people saying this. It's like, could Potter have done better if we just stuck with him? And if you go back through my tweets, you'll know that I was a very big advocate for Potter to stay, because I didn't think, overall from what I was watching, that it was particularly his coaching methods that was the reason we were losing games and weren't doing well. I think genuinely back then we just didn't have the players to compete. Our players in the squad weren't good enough. Whereas now, I feel like the players in our team are good enough, but they're just coached by an absolute muppet who doesn't know how to defend, doesn't know how to coach an attack against low blocks, doesn't know how to make substitutions, and quite frankly, doesn't belong here. He just doesn't belong here. He's not a Chelsea man, and he doesn't belong here. And I feel like it's kind of very telling that obviously in the game against United, we saw that bit of passion from Pochettino after the game, and that's the first time we've seen it all game, like all season. It's the first time we've seen him try and build a connection with the fans. And I don't think there ever will be. I don't think there ever will be that connection with him. And quite honestly, I think the bridge is burnt at this point. I think if you go, as I said, if you go onto football Twitter right now and you look at I'm looking down my feed right now, every single person, even people that I've interacted with in the past that were Poch in and were giving me arguments for why we should keep Poch, even them, all of them are saying they want him gone. Every single person just wants him gone. And I can't really give any arguments for why he should stay. He hasn't given us a reason to back him. Like, the only thing we can kind of say is that, oh look, we've scored more goals than we scored last season. We're slightly higher in the table than we were last season, but it doesn't matter. What's the difference between coming 12th and coming 9th? There's no difference at all. Like, we don't win anything, we don't qualify for anything. And as I said, this is, people kind of compare the Potter reign with the Pochettino reign, and they're like, oh well, Pochettino's doing better than Potter. And I'm like, yeah, but Pochettino has a much better team, and his team has £1 billion invested into it, and he still can't get us higher than fucking 9th. Like, when you have 220, I think, million worth of midfielder in your team, and you can't control games, it's stupid. It's not. That's not on Caicedo and Enzo. I'm not throwing shade at them. I think they're both great. It's the way that they are used in this team as well. It's just utterly bonkers to me. And I made a meme, which I put on my Twitter, of the like, hey, it's like the Petrovic talking to Pochettino thing of like, hey, can you coach our defenders how to defend, please? And Pochettino replies with, no, tell Enzo to play left wing, because that is genuinely how we play. It's just, there's no midfield structure. It's literally just, we try and play from the back immediately to the front with no build-up. Sometimes when we do see the build-up, it's basically just the players taking it into their own hands, because Enzo is clearly not instructed to go deep. He's told to run up the pitch and get into the final third, which is stupid. But yeah, and we just, I said, it's just, we keep seeing this stuff every single game, and like, this is coming from a person that watched 30 minutes of this game. I watched 30 minutes of this game, and I can tell just from watching that 30 minutes that Pochettino didn't set us up well today. And I go and look at the lineup, because I didn't get to see it, obviously, because I was not there at the start. And I just look at it, I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? I'm literally, and this is the thing, I think it's now the 7th game in a row that we've conceded 2 goals, which is absolutely mind-boggling. I can't remember if we were this bad under Potter defensively. I genuinely can't. I don't think we were ever anywhere near how bad we are defensively, and I would genuinely, with all the stuff that's going on at Bayern, I would genuinely take Thomas Tuchel back in a heartbeat. I would genuinely take him back in a heartbeat. I feel like this is team, and Chelsea as an institution in general has always been built off of being a hard-to-beat team that frustrates other teams, being a defensive wall that people can't get past, and having that kind of that setup of we will not be beaten, but we'll see if we can beat you kind of thing. We've always been that pragmatic side that is just really frustrating to play against, and obviously Tuchel embodied that, and he was the guy who said the quote is that we will build a team that no one wants to play against, and he did do that. And I think if Tuchel was to come back with this set of players, I think he'd do so much better than he did, obviously, which is saying something considering he won the Champions League. I think he would do so much better than he did with the team that we had. Obviously, we don't have N'Golo Kanté, we don't have Rudiger, but at least we don't have Mason Mount and Kai Havertz stinking up the gaff every weekend, and Timo Werner as our striker. I feel like we I think that he would at least be able to, with this group of players, get higher than 9th. Which is not really asking for much, considering how easy that should be, and Pochettino is obviously just not able to do that because he's an incompetent nutcase. But yeah, I've also, oh man, I've just scrolled down. I've just seen some quotes from Poch from his interview, him saying that this was a fair result, and he says that the players were tired. Like come on, man, it's Sheffield United. The players aren't too tired to beat Sheffield United. Come on. There's things like that. It's just like, it's just never. I'm never going to connect with this guy because he just never. He never gives me any reason to kind of say, oh yeah, well he wants the best for us. You know, he always just comes up with some excuse. Doesn't ever say that it's his own fault that we're losing games. He blames it on tiredness, which again I think is his fault because it's stupid making players run rather than actually doing any tactical training has been very evident considering the amount of injuries we've been getting, and muscle injuries in particular. I think it is time, genuinely, and I don't think there would genuinely be any difference if we were to sack him now versus sacking him at the end of the season. So I will just kind of hold my judgment and say that if he should be gone in May. He should be gone in May. If he's not gone in May, then Lord help us. Lord above help us, honestly. I don't know what we would do at that point. I think, as I said, I don't think where we'd go from there is a very set in stone path. I don't think we really have a lot of options, but I think the two options that are kind of opening up is obviously Tuchel, as I mentioned, which I don't think would happen just because the ownership. I think our ownership has too big of an ego to admit their mistake of letting him go. The other one obviously is Nagelsmann is a good shout. I've just seen that. Yeah, a fair result. That's ridiculous. But yeah, obviously we still got the cup run, guys. It's okay. We still got the cup run. We can rely on the cup run. It doesn't matter if we're dog shit in the league because we can get beaten by Man City in the next round. Obviously Amorim's another shout. I don't think Amorim's going to come to us. I think that's who Liverpool are probably going to get, I'd imagine. Obviously they're not getting Alonso now because of how well he's doing at Leverkusen, and I think that he will just stay there. We've got, hang on, how many points have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there anyone in particular that you guys think needs to go in here? I'm going to put another point, just a small point, by the way, because why the fucking hell was Robinson not sent off the pitch? Because that challenge was horrific. I'm just going to let you guys talk and just see what see if you guys have any ideas of who should be in this box. Otherwise, I am just going to settle it with the thing. I've seen a lot of people mentioning Jackson. I think that I feel kind of. I said this in my preview. I feel bad for Jackson because he does not get the service. He makes blistering runs into the channels every single time our midfielders get the ball, and because he has to deal with players like Conor Gallagher who can't play a forward pass, he's just completely ignored. Chalobah was decent. I kind of expected him to. Caicedo had an alright game. You could put Poch in the bad box again. That's a good shout, you know. That's really funny. You know what? I think what I'm just gonna do, because I don't want to make any judgments without actually kind of knowing, because obviously I didn't watch the majority of the game. I am just gonna put us in general, in the bad box, and I think it's kind of just now we've reached a point of like, wow, this is absolutely terrible. We can't really do much about it, and we've got to just hope and pray. I genuinely, I've got to go on. I'm going on my holiday in a couple of days, and I'm gonna. By the time I come back, I'm gonna go on record and say this. By the time I come back from my holiday, if we are not at least in like 7th, 8th place, I'm gonna be absolutely fuming. Like genuinely, I'm gonna come back on that day. I think I come back on the 27th. I don't actually know. Hang on, let me check. When actually is the Aston Villa game kickoff? Let me check. Our Villa game kicks off at 8 o'clock, so I should be back by then. By 8 o'clock, I should be home. Obviously, I'll be watching that game. I'll be trying to do a live stream for that game, because I've got videos set up for each of the other games that are in the middle that I'm missing. Obviously, the Everton game, the City semi-final in the FA Cup, and then the Arsenal game. I've got videos for those situations that are going to go up, but obviously I don't have a video for the Aston Villa game, but I'll be doing the preview after, so I think that kind of makes up for it. I will be, obviously, I'm going to be really horrifically tired because I'll be coming back from London on that day, but we'll see if we could get a result there. Our next game is obviously against Everton, who battered us last time, so that's fun. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm really not looking forward to that, because it's one of those games where we just know, I just don't have any confidence that we're ever going to win it. And ironically, every single time I say that and I don't have confidence in a game that we're going to win it, we then go ahead and win it. So maybe we'll win that game. Who knows? Yeah, it's just upsetting, man. I've got to the point now where I just can't really, I can't really have any hope for this team. And like every single time we have that hope, when we get a good result against Manchester United, it just gets ripped away from us again. Going against Sean Dyche's Everton side with this Chelsea team is going to be horrific to watch. I genuinely would not put it past them for it to be a 0-0 draw. But the problem is, I know our defense is so bad that we are not getting a clean sheet. Genuinely, I might actually do that. I might just try and jinx every single game if I can. I'll just be like, okay, cool, I think we're gonna lose this game. Genuinely, unless things change, I do think that like we are the underdogs in that game against Everton, which is crazy to say considering where they are in the table. And I know that obviously a part of the reason why they're down there is because of the points reduction, but that's their problem, not ours. But yeah, well, I'm gonna run the poll, because yeah, we have to do that. we don't really have options. I'm gonna just put in players that I've seen a lot of people kind of suggest were good. So obviously we've got the two that are in the box, in the good box, so I'll put them. But I've seen a lot of people saying that Chalobah was good, so I'll put him in there. Who else? I saw some. Oh god, there was a lot of people saying that. A lot of people were saying that someone was good. I've forgotten who it was. I mean, it's really weird because I want to put Palmer in here. It feels so weird not putting Palmer in this box. In fact, I think that is just the three that I'm just gonna put those three in. I think they're the ones that kind of stood out. So let's put those guys in. I need to get rid of this option. We'll start the poll. I would put Gusto on there if he played. Yeah, okay. I've set the poll up. Everyone vote. Whilst you do that, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. I am so ill. I hope that hasn't been disrupting the flow of this video, by the way, how awful I sound. I apologise for that in advance. And as I said, I'll be as usual, I'll be available on the Twitter. The mug cam. I'll be available on the Twitter after this game. As I said, whilst I'm away on holiday, I mentioned this in the pinned comment of the preview today, but whilst I'm away on holiday, I'll be updating you guys with a few things. I'll probably be posting a few things to my Twitter, but for the most part, I'm kind of staying off social media because I'm trying to like enjoy myself. Hopefully the games, obviously I'll be watching all the games whilst I'm away. I just won't be at my PC, so I won't be able to make content on them. So you'll still get to see me ramble on Twitter when we inevitably concede 3 goals to Everton and lose. Yeah, as I said, I probably won't be tweeting as often as I usually do because obviously I'm going to be in company. But I'll still be active. I'm not going to go like MIA or anything. And obviously I've got the videos that are going up in the meantime, and I'll be commenting with you guys in the comments during that as well. There'll be a lot of rage tweets. Trust me. This is the thing, which is really funny, is that like I'm taking this. It feels like I'm taking this holiday. Obviously, this holiday that I'm going on has been planned since last year. I was always going to go away in April. But it is really funny how it's worked out that when we finally just got this loss against Sheffield and it looks all gone, I'm like, right, see ya guys, I'm going on holiday. Man. Okay, so I'm gonna let the poll is actually really close. The poll is really, really close. So I'll actually leave it for a second just in case it changes. I think Silva is in the lead at the moment. I think that he largely did play well. As I said, I checked the player ratings. I'll check the player ratings after the game, and I think that Silva did get one of the better ratings in our team. Hang on, let me actually go through that again. Just because, and obviously ratings aren't everything, and again, because of him scoring a goal, that gets inflated a bit, but our best players in this game in terms of ratings were Silva, who had a 4.5, Palmer, who had a 4.4. I saw a lot of people say that Palmer was kind of bad, so that's a bit surprising. Enzo and Caicedo both had 4.1s, and then Madueke had a 4, and everyone else was utterly dross. So there we are. But yeah. Now the polls run for a bit longer, it does look like Silva is actually going to take this, so I'll end the poll here. And yeah, that's another thing. Someone's just pointed that out. I think it's actually quite impressive that Silva has come back into the team after such a long time out and just completely slotted in and looked really, really good. Yeah, he got the assist. He got assist for Nani's goal, didn't he? That would explain his rating. Who got the assist for the first goal? Was it Connor? I think Connor got the first assist, which is, again, saying something, a testament to how bad he was, considering he's one of the lowest rated players in the team and he got an assist. Is the poll equal? Oh, what's going on here? So this happened last time with the when I was trying to end it on 69 votes, and it then finished and it was 70, but I've ended this when Silva was ahead. Oh, you know what? Well, let's put them both in there. They deserve it. Cool. We got a tie. We'll put them both here. The true blues, shall we say, of the of the games. I do kind of want to, like, obviously I like letting you guys decide this, and I don't want to impact it in any way. If this was me personally, I would put Madueke here just because he scores the goal that should have won us the game, but then obviously he was let down by the rest of the team. As I said, I'm not going to ramble on too much. I'm not going to ramble on too much because I'll let you guys get to your evenings. I don't want to keep you guys too much. Obviously, I want to get on Twitter and start raging, so I'm going to do that. So if you don't follow me there, go do that, and I'll be probably retweeting many #PotchOut tweets, because that's basically what my feed is at the moment. I literally can't scroll. I'm looking at my feed right now. I cannot see a single person defending Pochettino. Every single person is like, get this guy out, which is quite fun. But yeah, and this is the thing, is that oh my god, I just seen another quote from Pochettino here where he's throwing all the players under the bus. This is ridiculous. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered with him, to be honest. But there we are. Excuse my my phone buzzing. I'll hit the outro here. As I always say, thanks guys for hanging out. This is the last stream I'll be doing for quite a while, so it's good to be able to talk to you guys before I leave. And yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed that the results get better, but let's be real, they're not going to get better. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. And as I said, the next video is going to be a bit of a different one, because obviously it'll be the first video of me not being here. So if you do get that in your sub boxes or whatever, and you're like, why is this not a preview? It's because I'm not here. So yeah, I appreciate all the support, not only just throughout the entirety of like this stream, but also the entirety of the life of the channel, because yeah, it's allowed me to kind of make this terrible season that would in other contexts make me considerably depressed into something that I can actually enjoy. And it's going to be kind of upsetting not being able to not going to be able to do these streams for a couple of weeks, but there we are. I will be back, and I'll be back stronger, so there we are. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll hit the outro now, and yeah, enjoy your evening.
But that was just my Feeling Blue match review for this week. Thank you ever so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this match in the comment section below, and if you'd be so kind, subscribe to the channel and leave the video a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss a video from me, or check out some of the other videos on the channel on screen right now. I've been Mono from Mono CFC, and remember, in the rain or in the dry, keep that blue flag flying high. Come on, you Blues.